Hello and welcome to this episode of Raxio Hour. Time to bring you up to speed with the latest developments happening at Uganda's first certified Tier 3 and truly carrier-neutral data center. We head to the data center site to witness delivery and placement of 2 power transformers that will make up an integral part of the power distribution system to the data center. The main function of the transformers is to step down power from high voltage to low voltage, which is required to power racks and IT equipment. Site manager Jeremiah Kasirie tells us more.
Hi, my name is Jeremiah Kasirie, Site Manager, Raxio Data Center. I'm here to give you an installation update for our mechanical, electrical and plumbing works. And specifically today, we are going to talk about components of the powertrain. What you see that is happening today is the delivery and installation of the power transformers. We are beginning integration of different components that make up the powertrain. By powertrain, what we mean by the powertrain is the different components that make up the power system of the data center. We completed the delivery of the utility cables from Umeme that will provide an N+1 utility supply. We have generators, of course, in N+1 configuration. Transformers have also been installed on their bases in N+1 configuration to satisfy the Tier 3 requirements. So we are going to integrate the systems, the generators, the transformers, the power kit in the HV room, that is the HV switchgear. And as you know, we have 2 power rooms. We will shortly also be installing the UPSs basically to complete the installation of systems in the powertrain. So today I'm glad to inform our customers that we have got 2 transformers that are going to work in N+1 configuration to deliver reliable power to the facility. So in the next couple of weeks, we will integrate all the systems in the powertrain and start kitting up and powering different components within the data center. So that is a brief update of transformer delivery and placement on the bases. Thank you very much.
Also this week, we host Mr. Wilbrod Owor, the Executive Director, Uganda Bankers Association, in a conversation about data centers and the banking sector.
My name is Wilbrod Owor, and I am the Executive Director, Uganda Bankers Association. Uganda Bankers Association is the umbrella body for financial institutions licensed and supervised by Bank of Uganda, the commercial banks, Tier 1, the microfinance, micro-deposit taking financial institutions. We are 35 in number. We are over 31 years old. The association speaks for the industry, represents them on policy issues, legislative matters. We drive industry initiatives to promote the practice of banking. Oh, well, banking obviously has been changing. In fact, it is changing more rapidly today than ever because of technology, because of new demands, because of the various changes happening across and the needs for financial sector support. But as an industry, it has become very obvious that we need to collaborate more. So today we work closer than ever, just within among our membership. But also it's very clear that we need several partners to deliver services, to reach out there, to serve people better, to understand the needs. As a result, beyond regulators and policymakers, today we work closer with fintech partners, with the media to send out our messages, to development partners with whom we share, similar goals. In terms of milestones, today we have more shared platforms. We share technological infrastructure. Today we are reaching out to government bodies like NIRA to put in place infrastructure that accesses basic national identity information for processing transactions. We have worked with the Uganda Law Society to create a framework for alternative dispute resolution. We are working with the central bank on regulatory reforms. We are working with different development partners to do financial literacy. Those are just some of the initiatives and milestones that we have covered, and there's still a lot more. A number of challenges, and there are always challenges in any business. The industry today faces fraud, a lot of fraud, especially cyber fraud, given that we are dealing with more digital transactions. So that's quite real, and as an industry we have to deal with it. We have to prepare to strengthen our systems, whether it's access, processing, identity, dealing with data, or even storing it properly, because that can be a loophole. We work with different third-party service providers. Sometimes that can be an entry, a weak point. So fraud is quite real, even working with the investigative bodies. We still continue to face challenges like case backlog, where cases take long to resolve. We also have several old laws that have not been brought up to date, and those we are reviewing to bring them up to date. So those are just some of the challenges. Also, our population still requires a lot of awareness in terms of financial services, especially as we roll out new products. So the idea is to continue engagement to bring this knowledge to them. Oh, that's big. As you know, that we are doing more and more transactions today than ever before using digital channels, and that's the trend. And every business has to embrace some form of digitization, not just the financial services sector. Any business as basic as even medical, food stores, name it, every aspect. And therefore, because the financial sector plays a central role, we have to be ahead of it or on top of it. So as an industry, as I said, we are embracing it in our processes, in our products, in our channels, and we are doing this in partnership with the fintechs who are good at this, and they provide that service, and other people who provide support services, like I said, data storage, connectivity, security, training and capacity building. As a country, I think our population is embracing digitization quite a bit. The young people use cards, use the phone, and now online channels quite a bit, and the uptake is very encouraging. So it's very, very promising. Our other partners, international partners, the Visas, the MasterCard, the SWIFT, the many partners that the sector works with are moving in the same direction. I think the country is ripe and ready. In any case, there is no choice anyway. It's the direction to go. So I think we continue to play a big role. The central bank has recently shared with us legislation, regulations, to align all these aspects and have better regulation. We are making input to this, all meant to drive that agenda. So I think we're at a very, very good point. The financial banking sector, by its nature, we trade money and we deal with the authenticity of the information that we hold. We have different kinds of data. We have the basic information, your name, your age, your gender. We have transaction information, that transaction history, whether your payments or loans. We have behavioral information and other related next of kin. So we sit on a lot of information. As you know, this information is very sensitive and it changes every day because you are transacting and particulars may change here and there. So information is critical, but very, very important to safeguard, because a lot of it, or nearly all of it, is confidential. So how we store it, how we process it, how we safeguard it, and the size, as I said, it keeps increasing. And yet it has to remain available 24/7, being the financial sector. So it's a critical aspect of our business as a sector. We train our people We make sure we have infrastructure that stores, processes, and keeps this information safe. And therefore, we take it very, very serious. You know that there's also a data privacy and protection law that provides the framework through which to process and keep this information. So in there are processors like the partners we work with in the technology space. All of us in our different stages, even us as custodians of that information, we have responsibilities, obligations. There are heavy penalties, especially the risk of compromising that information. So we try as much as possible to safeguard that, because if there's a breach, your identity information could be stolen and compromised. Your transaction information could be misused. Some people can even hold you at ransom based on the information they get, or deny services to you using this information. So the issue of data storage or information storage is very, very critical in the financial sector. Yes, the pandemic led to an uptake of the use of online services. In a way, it is good because then we're minimizing spread of COVID, because otherwise physical movements was limited. But also it has helped the uptake. You know, once you get hooked onto an online or digital service, you enjoy the comfort 24/7, the ease, and how secure it is. There have been risks, like I mentioned, cyber threats, and there are people whose business is 24/7 trying to hack, and as I said, either deny service or compromise or actually cause a financial loss or fraud. As an industry, we have a cyber security committee who is constantly working with different parties to try and mitigate, minimize threats, or even anticipate and work to counter them. It's a continuous process that we are continuing to work on. Oh, very big. One of the biggest things. We have spent most of this interview just talking about digitization, and the Tier 3 data center becomes very central, because all of our operations, as I said, run on IT platforms. So typically where the business is run is what we call the primary center. But there has to be a backup. And that backup has to be available 24/7, all the time. So the presence or the coming into play of a Tier 3 data center, a center of the type as Raxio, is a most welcome thing, because it provides us with a first-class backup point available 27, and the fact that it's a Tier 3 means it meets certain standards way above the ordinary ones. The second thing is that it will allow and attract international players, huge players, Microsoft, Amazon, all the other bigger players. When there is such infrastructure in a market, it's easier for them then to come. 3 is that instead of having your own standalone, you can use such shared platforms, and therefore it reduces the cost of investment, because then there's a facility to use. You just pay rental or whatever arrangement or charge framework, and you don't have to duplicate and reinvest. So it has huge advantages, and you enjoy world-class service at a neighborhood, and that certainly comes with lots of advantages and synergies and economies of scale. And it is adjustable. You know, I'm sure there is a service for different sizes based on your need, and that comes with a lot of advantages in costs of operation. So that's an extremely wonderful initiative, and we congratulate them for that. I think they will certainly make use of it. We are required to have multiple recourse centers in case of disaster recovery, and quickly be able to resume operations or minimize any interruption. So I think that the financial sector will make use of this beyond their primary centers or other alternate centers. As I said, it comes with other advantages. It also attracts international partners whom we can all benefit from. And I think that as more users use such a center, the costs will come down because of the science of volumes or the economics of scale. Then the ultimate costs can come down as more and more either financial sector players or other players use it. So I see that in the long term it will have cost benefits as well, which can be passed on, of course, to consumers of our services.
Thanks for watching. Until next time, Twe Wale COVID-19. Protect yourself and loved ones. Wear a mask. Avoid crowds. Practicing social distancing and washing and sanitizing your hands. Stay safe.